So today I want to talk about politics, the game of numbers, and you have to pay attention. Let me remove this. You have to pay attention to what I'm saying today, because what Aden Duale is saying must be taken completely out of context, and you'll understand why. And I want to say from the outset that Aden Duale, the Minister for Environment, the Cabinet Secretary for Environment, is actually my friend. I consider him my friend, and I have no apologies to make for considering Aden Duale my friend and him considering me his friend, because we have a history together dating back to 2011, and we are good friends. So whatever I'm going to say must be taken out of context completely, but still you must pay attention to what Aden Duale is saying. Politics is indeed a game of numbers, and it's just shaping up. Now, this issue of censors is not the first time it's being disputed. I remember when Wycliffe Ambetsa was the Minister for National Planning, he disputed. In fact, at that time, he said there was no way the Somalian population could have grown from 1% to 6% in a record time. Because in 1989 and I think 1999 census, it was also disputed. The Somali population at that time in the country was about 1%. By the time Oparanya was commenting the next census in 2009, it was showing that the population had shot by 140%, which to Oparanya at that time, it was not possible that they could have done 140% in 10 years. In fact, I remember he said, this is not possible unless Somali women are giving birth twice a year. There is no way that population was possible. So that is just to give you a little history about the dispute in the population of northeastern Kenya. And you must understand it in context, because politics is a game of numbers. At that time, I think it was about 2.3 million population, and they were ranked the sixth, if I'm not wrong. They were playing a sixth. They were playing in the top 6. Now, with what they're saying, northeastern population, 3 counties, Garissa, Mandera and Wajir, could very well in 2027 play in the top 5. You will know how significant this is. And that is why Aden Duale is encouraging the people from that region, the Kenyans from that region, to marry 4 wives and give birth to many children, because they need to change the dynamics. Now, President William Ruto has already shifted his focus from Central Kenya, which has a population in 2021, according to the National Bureau of Statistics, about 5.9. Let's round it off to 6 million in terms of population. It's ranked about number 4. It's not even number 2, number 4. I'll be giving you all that breakdown. So, half of that population, let's say, is a voting population, right? About 3 million is a voting population. Now, William Ruto has realized it might not work because of the Rigiji factor, giving him a hell of time. So he knows he has to look somewhere. Again, looking at the population of Nyanza, William Ruto is not sure of Nyanza. I am certain he's not sure of Nyanza, especially after 25th. Everything will be redefined after Raila's move to the AU. Everything is going to be redefined. Now, away from that, I like to break down this for you so that you see why it's of interest. These are the latest statistics, Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. Now, Central Kenya has 5.9, rounded over to 6. Coast region has 4.7. Eastern region has 7.2. Nairobi has 4.7. Northeastern, subject of dispute here, has 2.7, while Nyanza has 6.7 in population. Rift Valley has the highest at 13 million, and Western Kenya at 5 million. Total Kenyan population at this time is estimated to be 51.5%. Now, why is it necessary that Northeastern produces numbers for William Ruto? Now, he's going to look at Rift Valley. After looking at Rift Valley, Central partially, Nairobi partially, and then he has to have at least 3 solid blocks. Now, where is he getting 3 solid blocks? And that's where Aden Duale comes in with the voting block from Northeastern. Now, William Ruto and Aden Duale are boys. That one I have to tell you, they are boys. He has to do everything within his powers to ensure that William Ruto is not a one-term president. And William Ruto said he's not a one-term president. Does he look like one? That's what he said. So now you understand the game of numbers and the dispute and why what happened in court is a reprieve to them, because at that time it was said that they had been grossly, the population numbers had been grossly underestimated and represented by the National Bureau of Statistics, and crazily the court agreed with them, and this needs review. Now you understand why the population numbers is important. Now William Ruto coming in to talk about IDs is also important, because the IDs, a friend of mine is looking at me somewhere here, the ID issue is the first enabler to vote. If you don't have an ID, you can't vote. Now, him saying that the IDs will be given indiscriminately, if at all, I could paraphrase him, is what is now causing waves around the country, because we fought for our IDs. You have to prove, you have to make a case for an ID. There are people in many parts of this country who don't have IDs. Now, just saying that IDs will be issued indiscriminately must definitely raise people's aerials. And then, where is the target? Look at what Aden Duale is saying. Now you understand why the game of numbers is important. Now, if 2009 will be too late, 2029 will be too late for census, then the northeastern population just under 3 million is not working. What if it's reviewed and total numbers come out and it's shown actually that they have about 4 million, voting population 2 million? What do you expect? What do you think? Now you understand why this game of numbers is important. And for me, what Aden Duale said must be taken out of context in order for everyone to understand his psyche, how he's thinking. Remember, I've broken it down. And as we stand currently, the highest population in the country is from the Rift Valley, followed by Luya, then the northeast, from Luya, it's central Kenya, then the other ones. Now, they want to bring the northeastern region into play. Now you know how the game of numbers is important. So, whenever they talk about numbers, think election.
Wacha nikuambie Ruto, hata uchukue wa Somali wote kutoka Somalia, uwalete Kenya wachukue ID, hii nchi iko na wenyewe. Hii nchi ni ya Wasomali wa Kenya, the Somali Kenyans. Hii nchi ni ya Wamasai. Hii nchi ni ya watu wa Coast. Hii nchi ni yetu watu wa Mlima. Hii nchi ni ya Wakalenjin, Luo and Luya and many other communities in Kenya. Hata uchukue kina nani, na hawa Wasomali unataka kuleta hawakukuchagua Mr. President. Ni sisi tulikuchagua. You are very selfish, Mr. President. Your personal interests are now coming before the interest of this republic. Your personal interests, Mr. President, are about to create a huge problem in this Kenya. And I want to tell you, Mr. President, ile shida unaletea Somali Kenyans itakuja kujionyesha in the next few years. Because the government that is going to take over, Mr. President, will clear this mess that you have tried to create. It will clear it, and it will be painful for the Somali Kenyan communities. They have suffered under the Al-Shabaab regime. Al-Shabaab came in this country, wakafanya mambo yao. We were blaming the Somali Kenyans, Mr. President. And I'm telling you, Mr. President, ile shida wa Kenya watapata even kwenda nchi za nje, America, Britain, France, itakuwa shida kubwa, even to the business people in this country. Because sasa watakuwa wanaona sisi wote ni wakora, Mr. President. The kind of insecurities that are about to come in this country, Mr. President, will be liable to you, Mr. President. Ulichukua Biblia pale Kasarani na katiba, ukasema ya kwamba you are going to protect the sovereignty and the territorial integrity of this country, Mr. President. You have gone against that, Mr. President. And there is no reason, Mr. President, tunafaa kukuweka in that position of presidency. And I'm telling you, hata uchukue wa Somali kutoka Somaliland, hata kutoka Somalia, hata kutoka Ethiopia, hata uchukue wa Uganda, hata uchukue kina nani, sisi wa Kenya ambao ni wenye hii nchi, tukisema hutatawala, hutatawala.
So the guys in Ethiopia decided to show His Excellency Daktari, the PhD holder, some really bad things, eh? So ground ilikuwa imepangwa ikapangika. But when he started splitting, ni kama kuna kitu alisema, watu wa Isiolo wakasema, hiyo haikai ukweli. That one does not sound like the truth.
Tumeweka pesa milioni 650 ya kuweka stima hapa Isiolo pale Neti.
Then things got out of hand.
Salam alaikum!
Yo, Kenyans, did I tell you? Now, this is the plan. Ndwale is the mastermind. They want to create another mulima in Northeastern. Wakati mulima ilianza kuenda, kulikuwa na kesi huko ya census. Ndwale akasukumwa akiwa na kinafara, census imekuwa koti ka declare null and void. Ati hiyo census yao ilikuwa mbaya. Now, William Ruto alituma Sanko huko before aende tour, ndio apange hii tour. Akaenda akapanga maneno yao, wakaongea na wao. What they want to create another mulima in Northeastern. Wanasema Northeastern iko na kura mingi ati almost double kuliko Mount Kenya. Now borders zimefunguliwa. Borders zinafunguliwa. No vetting ya IDs ati sijui nini watakuwa wanafanywa vetting au watu kutoka Somali kutoka nini watakuwa wanachukua. Now this is the plan to rig election. Now they are sending the government operatives to come and test water. Check out this tweet ya Dennis Tumbi, enda usome hizo comments hapo uniambie. We are cooked. Reports. Naambia Wakenya huwa halali. According to Ahome Duku, a new ID card printing machine will be delivered next week. And the destination is Eldoret. It is hiyo machine ni Matika S5200G via Casarineta 9 6900 Lugano, Switzerland. That is the hiyo ni physical address of the purchase. Now hii mashini inaletwa iwekwe Eldoret, the northern frontier district. ID zao zitakuwa zinaprintiwa direct from Eldoret. Zinapelekwa wapi? Zinapelekwa Northeastern. Meanwhile kuna shida ya printing. Wewe places zenye hazina vetting, azilikuwa vetting ya ID. Hata ukienda za hizi uapply ID, kama ukuja hapa Githurai uapply, ama uende Rift Valley uapply, ID haitoki, ina take 3 months 6 months, na hata zingine hazitoki. Unaambiwa kuna shida ya nini? Kuna shida ya printing papers. ID hata zina take years. Au wamepewa no vetting, free IDs from Somalia. Plan to rig elections. That is what is happening in this country. My friends, we must stay awake. Na sisi hatuna chuki na mtu. Sisi wacha William follow the right way. Na hiyo ashajua you cannot rig an election. Hauwezi iba uchaguzi hadi ukue na kura. Hata yeye anajua uwezi iba uchaguzi. Uchaguzi huwa inamalizikia kwa polling station. Mashine inakuja ya kuprint IDs. Nasikia IDs za bank hizi zenye zinatumika kuprint ATM cards zinaweza print IDs but in small quantities. Nasikia bado hizo zinatumika. So ndio hiyo evidence hapo.
Okay, so the initial media we were getting out of that Isiolo rally, I don't know if they were muted. That's why I was saying that crowd was very quiet, or they clipped the part where people were not chanting. People have chanted, Jambazi must go to his face. And I thought sijui NFD, sijui he had them kwa mfuko, sijui. Hey, this is really sad. Jambazi just stay in State House. Tutakuja kusalimia huko. Nobody wants to see this motherfucker anywhere. Ruto must go. Guy, that is very embarrassing. You're trying to talk. Uongo. Guy. No Mtumba analysts can go online and start telling us how Gashiedha and Jambazi sijui. We're getting rid of all these bastards. Okay, even that senator has been booed the fuck. Yani, nobody wants to see all these people. Yeah, but they'll keep telling you this. You know, this, you need to realize, Kenyan, the outgoing political class, they're in some weird bubble of ignorance and denial. Okay, hawezi. They can't even fathom that they are exiting office. No wonder Jambazi is talking about, oh, kwani kuna uchaguzi huu mwaka. Hey, kumbe you knew. Yes. Yeah, ama, you know, maybe Jambazi he thought cause anaingia huko interior huko they don't want to hear your shit. And by Isiolo, actually, even their protests last year were very lively. They were one of those counties that really came out to protest. Them and was in Gishu. Even your backyard, people don't want to see your face. Bro, maliza Feb in office. No. Hey! Where? Are you even making it to April?
William Ruto may succeed in bringing all the illegal immigrants he wants through the northern Kenya border to Somalia. He can bring in them. And he might even gain them, but he will lose the entire country at their expense because it's going to be a very expensive affair. Remember, the more people he bring in, the more hawana jobs, the more they need housing. So hata hii housing project, easy housing finance, easy watu wanakatwa levies, that money will go to sustaining these foreigners. Zile pesa tunatoa za ID 1,000 sijui 500 1,050 bob will go to the contribution of, you know, printing IDs for foreigners. It's gonna be a pretty damn expensive affair for William Ruto. You may win them, but you're going to lose the entire country. I am telling you, and you can pin that and take that to the next bank. You will lose the entire country at the expense of those illegal immigrants you're bringing in the country. Hautapatana na hii nchi because you will have to sustain them with our taxes. So very soon, you know, without these fundings za US na kila kitu and this double taxing, you know, economy will hurt. There will be no money going to the county government and to other, you know, services. So you're in for it. It was so easy for you to fix them economy, because how does a president just keep thinking about winning the next election when he has the power to transform people's lives? When we tell you William Ruto does not have the capacity to grow anything, this is exactly what we mean. He keeps shooting himself in the foot. Na hiyo ndio tunasema nini? Wisdom of fools. Yes. Kuna kitu itwa the wisdom of fools. The wisdom of fool is where una plan vitu one-sided. You're just thinking about the benefits, but you're so blind to see the repercussions of what you're planning. Okay? So William Ruto is planning to bring in all these illegal immigrants, I don't know up to what number, into the country for his 2027 re-election bid. Now, he forgets this. He does not know how to fix the economy. There are no jobs in the country. The economy is struggling now that even Donald Trump ametoa zile funding they rely on. Sasa amejiuliza, watu wakikuja nchini watakula nini? Watakaa wapi? Watatoa wapi jobs? Now he is going to deal with the level of insecurity that he has never seen before, and that is going to lead into an insurgency like never seen before, and he might be out.
Ukiangalia history ya Somalis, on our borders we have porous borders, ambapo our neighbors Somalia kuna vitu kama Al-Shabaab, very dangerous militant group. Na mtu ambaye amekuwa Kenya anaweza kuambia how lethal are these people. Mtu amekuwa Kenya since 2007 huko atakwambia how we have suffered in the hearts of Al-Shabaab. We cannot forget of Westgate, the like of Dusit. Wakati watu walikuwa wanatakiwa kwa stage, bombs zinarushwa huko. We all appreciate it is very dangerous. And that's why we have been vetting our Somalia brothers. We have Somalis who are Kenyans. But you cannot tell this is a Kenyan Somali and this is a Somalia Somali. So that's why they have been always vetted. You see, ndivyo tusipee mtu wa Somalia asipewe ID ya Kenya akuwe ni Al-Shabaab akuja aanze kuwa tishio ama shida kwa nchi yetu ya Kenya. But our president abaye ni tunasema ni mtu self-centered, mtu anajipenda sana, mtu anapenda tu yeye, akili yake yote na fikra zake zote ziko kwa election yake. It doesn't matter it will cost Kenya nini. yeye anataka tu apate votes na influence a lot of vote. Remember, wacha tu Somalia, hata our neighbors Ethiopia, you know what has been happening huko kwa border side za Ethiopia. These people, they are full of terrorists. So what will happen if we stop vetting, we stop knowing who is a Kenyan Somali and who is a Somali from Somalia? So that will be a very big challenge, and I believe that the government, na mimi huwa na appreciate kitu moja, that we should come up with a policy that huyu mtoto wakati anazaliwa, kwa nini asipewe ID ama identity at the birthplace, ndio tujue huyu amezaliwa Kenya, ni wa wazazi wa Kenya na ni Mkenya. Because let me tell you, and I know hata even Somalis will appreciate, so Kenyan Somalia will appreciate that hata huko area zao wako na burden kubwa ya Al-Shabaab. So what will happen?
You are given a handkerchief and you are told you are going to raise your handkerchiefs, and you bring back that handkerchief to the person who gave it to you for you to receive the balance of your payment. Okay. That is what you're witnessing.
Let's hear from you to then I'll come to you. Prof, there's a direct accusation, so I'll give you a response. Yeah.
The people of Kenya breached parliament. These senators here and the members of parliament were running for their lives. That our speaker that we recognize is that young man who said, Mr. Speaker, sir, I am here to address you. So William Ruto is going to say things he has never seen before. Just the same way parliament has never been breached before, it is now been breached, and we have a speaker in the name of the young man. That's the one we recognize. Nobody recognizes Wetangula or Amason Kingi. But let me say this. William Ruto has not only lost Mt.Kenya, he has lost the country. The kind of public disaffection with William Ruto's performance on the economy, the issue that unites Kenyans is not even tribe. I'm even surprised. These two are still talking like the Kenyan of before, where it was always about tribes, Mt.Kenya here, Luos here, who here. Kenyans don't care about those tribes. Kenyans care about a government that responds to their needs, a government that creates an economy that makes meaning to them. Professor is telling us about CG plumbers, masons being employed in Makasembo, Lumumba housing estates. What about those unemployed teachers? What about those lawyers who are unemployed? What about those doctors? What about those JSS teachers who've been on strike demanding for the recognition of their CBA? Do you want them to become plumbers? Do you want them to become masons? And yet, when they went to school and they acquired a skill, when a lawyer goes to acquire a skill, a teacher goes to school to acquire a skill, is it now the responsibility of the government to turn this lawyer, to turn this teacher, to turn this doctor to become a plumber by force? No. We need to create an economy that makes meaning to everybody, an economy that empowers somebody based on his skill set. We cannot all become plumbers in this country, for Christ's sake. So government talking about unemployment should not reduce it to create jobs for masons. We create jobs for, as David D says, people to sell chapatis at construction sites. I'm an advocate. I want to go and practice law. She's a doctor. He needs to go and treat Kenyans. And let me say this. Kenyans are not in the space where these two are. These two represent the old order of our politics, where people discussed politics based on regionalism, based on tribes. Kenyans, united, tribeless, partyless, leaderless, came out to say our key concern is the economy. How are we being governed? And that is why you've seen the numbers that came out on the 18th of June 2024 and the 25th of June 2024. Those numbers have never been convened in the history of the earth across this country. The numbers you saw in Nairobi, the numbers you saw in Eldoret, in Kericho, in Kisumu, in Mombasa, in Nyeri, in Nyahururu, those numbers were phenomenal.
But even the numbers you're seeing right now on your screen were phenomenal for President William Ruto. He's never seen this kind of reception in Nyanza region.
In comparison with the numbers that came out in Kisumu on the 25th of June. They pale in comparison. But even having said that, I was in this same region when this was happening. And I can tell you, the people were saying, we came to witness the lies of William Ruto. And we did confirm that those promises with William Ruto, yes, they are there, and you can see them carrying handkerchiefs. Those handkerchiefs, in fact, the handkerchiefs that they're carrying, this is what happened. They were being given 500 Kenya shillings with an handkerchief. And you're told, you bring back your handkerchief and you're paid 1,000 shillings.
No,
he knows them. He knows them. He knows the political operatives in Kisumu who are doing that. Where have you ever seen? Raila has had how many rallies in Kisumu? Professor Jenda here has had how many rallies in Kisumu? No single day do you find people go to rallies carrying handkerchiefs. But this was a particular assignment. You are given a handkerchief and you are told you are going to raise your handkerchiefs, and you bring back that handkerchief to the person who gave it to you for you to receive the balance of your payment. Okay. That is what you're witnessing.
So back in 2019, when BBI story was really very popular in the country, and William Ruto's chances of getting elected in 2022 elections were very slim. One night I was driving around in the streets of Nairobi with one of my older brothers who happens to be a lawyer. Sasa unajua mtu kama mimi sijasoma vizuri, so ukiongea na wakili lazima unajua unafaa kuangalia maneno yako. So my brother was a staunch supporter of Azimio, and he said Raila and Uhuru will easily defeat William Ruto. But I made a very unpopular prophecy during that ride with my brother. I told him there is only one thing that stands between William Ruto and his victory of 2022, and that is if he remains alive when the results of the presidential elections result are going to be announced. So long he remains alive, he is the winner. And that came to pass. William Ruto is now the president of the Republic of Kenya. Today I want to make another prophecy. If Raila Amolo Odinga does not win the AU seat in 2 weeks' time, if he gets defeated, if he loses that election, William Ruto will be the first Kenyan president to be one-term president. Ataenda nyumbani haraka sana. So wacha tumombe rais sasa anafaa kuomba sana Raila ashinde hiyo kiti. Asiposhinda,
who gives budget hundreds of millions to a silly office like that one of Rachel Ruto as if power is sexually transmitted, while many kids out here are going without food or access to education, which is and ought to be a basic right. We do not have a country. We have a cabal of thieves.
I beg of us, I really want to beg of us today, as the chair of UDA, let's stay focused to what it is we promise those hustlers. Because if we don't deliver, those hustlers will send us out of power, and they'll send us with vengeance. So let us talk about roads, electricity, education, health, types. Let's tone down on the politics. It is not healthy. It is not healthy. It is the wrong time.
Kuna nchi inaweza sikia kuchukua William Ruto. Wanaweza mchukua kwa sababu sisi wananchi, we don't need him. Ametuchosha. Ama nyinyi mjachoka? Mjachoka na Ruto? Ule mtu anataka kuchukua William Ruto, you can take him for free, take Wetangula for free, take Mudavadi for free. Tunawapea hizo takataka zote waende waongoze if they are good to you.
Zile vitu tunaongea sisi si wenda wazimu. Their plan is exposed. In God we trust. Na nyinyi mtajua hii nchi ni ya Mungu. Sisi tuko na God. Muko na power, muko na those Subaru boys, muko na guns, na sisi tuko na God. I'm telling you, this is a David Goliath war. This is a David Goliath war. Sisi generation yetu, sisi tuko na Mungu. In God I trust. In God we trust.
Majenzi mko, kazi mnafanya kwa mtandao ni mzuri sana, na tunapongeza nyinyi, na muendelee. Mtaendelea. Lakini mtandao peke yake haitoshi. Tunataka mjiandikishe kama wapiga kura. Wale watu ambaye watakomboa Kenya hii, wenye kuamua Kenya itaongozwa namna gani, ni hao majenzi wetu mwaka wa 2027. Lakini hamwezi amua Kenya itakaa namna gani kwa simu peke yake. Lazima mchukue vitambulisho, lazima mjiandikishe kama wapiga kura. Siku hiyo ikifika, muamuke saa 9, muungane na sisi na wengine, tuende pale kwa debe, tutafute uongozi wa maana ambaye utaheshimu wa Kenya, utaheshimu demokrasia na utakubali kufanyia kila mtu maendeleo. Tumekubaliana majenzi?
Hata nasahau tarehe ni gani. Mimi siko na tarehe kwa kalenda. Na mimi hata sina haja nayo. Mimi chenye niko nayo ni serikali ya 2027. Huyu mkata ushuru tumtoe. Na tuungane si wote.
Meta vile naona nisha reject tu hiyo finance bill 2025. Ningoje tu date ya maandamano. Juu mambo yendi bana. Mimi hata wafanye nini? Mimi nisha reject. Mfanye nini? Nisha reject. Mfanye nisha reject. Nime reject. Mtoe date ya maandamano sasa.
And we are not alone. There's a new force of nature at hand, stirring all over the world. They are the young people whom, frankly, we have failed, who are angry, who are organized, who are capable of making a difference. They are a moral army. And the most important thing that we can do for them is to get the hell out of their way.
Kwanza mimi ikifika 2027 naiba mpaka kura ya madhangu na budangu. Sitaki warudi tu huko tena. Si youth chachanuka. Madha zetu bado Ruto unaenda home na 13 parliament tunaivunja. Wende home wote tuanze fresh.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm here to address you. You must go. Ruto must go. Kwapa na hatuendi. Kwapa tunalala huku na hatuendi. We don't fear you guys. You hypocrites. We don't fear you. Mr. Speaker, we don't fear you. Tuko ndani. We stomped inside. Sisi ni nani? I'm inside. Niko ndani. Na tunamalizana na nyinyi. Tunamalizana na nyinyi. Mmetutesa sana. Today is today. You must hear our cry. Sisi ni sisi. Utatusikiza. Hii ni bunge yetu. Sisi tumewafanya mkuu hapa. This is our parliament. You must hear us. Kama hamna masikio, tutawafanya msikie. Poa manze.
Shan nini? President tunataka kuambia uko na miaka 2 katika ofisi. Na hawa wananchi hawa they will punish you na hata ukiwa na pesa kwa kutoa nje.
Wacheni tu mimi niseme na mapema. Ndio kama kuna list na andiko mniweke kwa list. I can't wait to reject finance bill 2025. I can't wait because I know it will be something absurd. It will be something mental. I can't wait. Mneke kwa list jameni. List reject.
Idiots who don't want to participate in the affairs of their nation, they think things will just work in and of themselves. Then they are tribalists. And these tribalists, they think that they are only safe with people who are from their tribe. And tribe can mean people from the same culture, same language, or same culture. Then they are citizens. These are individuals who are responsible and know that when you want to be served, you must give those who have the desire and the intellectual capacity to serve you. In many societies, it is only a small percentage of people that can be called citizens, not more than 5%. And if a society wants to grow in the right direction, civic education is what will help the idiot and the tribalist to become a citizen.
No one is going to tell me what to do at what time. I'm in charge. So please put that proposal on the table and then let's discuss it. And if they need a right, you can't say because there is a rule here. We work according to the rule.
Mungu yetu itoe Ruto Kenya, hata kama angalau na jali. Sisi Kenya tumechoka na Ruto, maisha imetuharibikia, analipisha mpaka sodo ya wamama.
bure kabisa Ruto. We don't like you, go home. Sasa tafuta kiongozi ambaye anapenda mwananchi na anapenda kijana kama si.
They want to be described as honorable even when they are horrible. They acquire things which they have not worked for. They promise us things that they know they will never deliver. And there is no shortage of such men and women in the African continent.
Now, why do you want Ruto gone?
We want Ruto gone because he is killing innocent people. He's wanting to pass the Finance Bill 2024. He's putting tax on sanitary products that girls can't even buy. He can't go to school. He's corrupt. He's taking the money. He needs to go.
Yes.
Out. If you're going to raise anything, start with your hairline.
Nice.
Control, Alt, Delete, Ruto. The drunk did better than you. Drunkard did better than you.
Nice.
Now the next election,
yes.
Unajua hawa ndio watakuwa nasema fagia wote ama mtasema namna gani? This generation,
yes,
they use their might because they didn't vote, the largest vote in the last election.
Hi Kenyans, mi sina maneno mengi. All I want to say is Ruto must go like yesterday. Bye.